Hey guys, Anders here, welcome back to another video. In this video, it is everything you need to know and nothing you don't need to know about the August update. I'll be going through the patch notes section by section and picking out all the stuff that is actually worth mentioning. And if you're new to the channel, this is how things go here, so be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn notifications on if you're already subscribed. Really does help the channel out, and be sure to drop a like on the video. Thank you guys so much for the awesome support on the last few videos, as well as hitting 28,000 subscribers. We're inching ever so closely to 30,000. I will definitely have something special in the pipeline for that. So, Battlefield 2042 patch 1.2, or the August update, was kind of surprised announced pretty much instantly on August 1st, and I fully expected for them to wait until about August 7th, maybe about August 13th or 14th, but this actually makes DICE, and I can't believe I'm saying this, they're trending on releasing updates earlier than expected, because if you remember, the patch before this also was announced pretty early on in the month. And that is very atypical, because typically there would be like a 2-week wait within the start of the month. So we're about 2 weeks into the month, then they delay it another week, so it releases about really late into the month. That pushes everything back, and we're just left waiting, but apparently not these past 2 months. And as far as my general thoughts about this update before we get into the specifics of it, I would say that this is a pretty typical DICE update. There are some good things. There are some things I don't know about, and there are some things that are just stupid. So, without further ado, let's actually get into the specifics. First and foremost, the new Kaleidoscope map rework is a part of this patch, so in the comment section down below, if you've played it already, let me know your thoughts. I think it is pretty safe to say that this is the new and actually improved Kaleidoscope. From the little previews that DICE gave us, it does look like the terrain areas are not as flat, and there is substantially more cover, but I am worried of certain areas. I do think there's going to be an abundance of places where people are going to be head glitching, specifically in that little center stadium area. The next thing on the list is, of course, the Specialist, and as DICE are calling it, Style and Tone update. Basically, the Specialists just get a bunch of shit on their face and, maybe some overgrown beard hairs, maybe a little scraggliness going on, and overall, they're trying to make the Specialist fit the theme of the game a little better by making them look a little more grittier, war-torn, whatever synonym you want to use. Next up is the long-awaited player profile section, and honestly, I can't even believe that they have to push an update to put this in the game, but we will finally be able to see our player statistics in the actual game, and we won't have to go to a third-party website to do so. So now I can see the full glory of my 1KD in the actual game. I'm very excited about that. Moving on to the actual patch notes, we're going to start with the general changes section. First and foremost, fix an issue with aim assist that prevented auto-tracking from working as intended for moving targets. That's great and all, but here's the thing. If you're going to fix aim assist, you better fucking believe that the mouse input fix better be in the next patch, DICE. Okay? I'm getting a little stern in the voice here, because I'm done waiting. Alright? If you're gonna fix aim assist, you better fucking fix mouse input. Just wanted to say my piece on that. Moving on to the other changes in the general section. The only other change worth mentioning in this section, in my opinion, is a scroll menu has been added while viewing weapon attachments. I don't really know where they're talking about adding that scroll menu, but it is a little more convenient than the current system we have now. And I'm just going to take this opportunity to skip all the way to the more important changes that I think will be more interesting for you guys, namely the weapon nerfs and the vehicle changes. I will still go over everything in the patch, but I just want to keep the video more interesting because I am that fucking guy. Anyway, moving on to the BSV-M. It has finally been nerfed. Full auto mode in the BSV-M no longer provides recoil compensation and instead gives a 15% spread penalty, meaning that it will be less accurate. They have also adjusted the BSV-M high-power magazine damage models to begin at 50 meters for damage drop-off instead of 100 meters for damage drop-off. In normal people speak, this means that the BSV-M will be a 3-shot kill up to 50 meters, and past 50 meters it will now be a 4-shot kill with high-power ammo. Previously, it was a 3-shot kill up to 100 meters, and I think actually past 100 meters, so I don't really know where their data is coming from. But at least that weapon will be slightly less terrorizing than it currently is now. On top of that, the K30 was also nerfed, receiving damage drop-off changes to every single ammo type. Subsonic from 0 to 10 meters had its damage reduced from 22 to 18, making it a 6 bullet to kill instead of a 5 bullet to kill from 0 to 10 meters. Subsonic also got nerfed at 30 to 40 meters, making it instead of a 6 bullet to kill, a 7 bullet to kill. Standard issue got nerfed from 0 to 10 meters, making it a 6 bullet to kill instead of a 5 bullet to kill, and high power also got nerfed from 0 to 10 meters, making it a 6 bullet to kill and not a 5 bullet to kill. So the K30's damage models have been nerfed, but honestly, these are the only nerfs that the K30 received. You still have that insane fire rate, you still have that insane hip fire. So make no mistake, I don't think the K30 is going anywhere anytime soon, and I'll also say the same thing for the BSV-M. I think they're both going to still be very, very strong weapons. Moving on to the M5A3 close combat rounds getting its damage nerfed as well. This is a very interesting and confusing change in my opinion, considering that I don't think the M5A3's close combat rounds were a problem at all, but from 0 to 20 meters, they've had their damage reduced from 22 to 18, so it is a 6 bullet to kill from point blank now, which, again, I don't really understand the need for this change. I was never really complaining about dying to the M5A3, and I don't think anyone else was either. Another confusing change, in my opinion, the MP9, they have nerfed the MP9 as well, reduced the MP9's close combat rounds damage. From 0 to 5 meters, instead of doing 28 damage, it now does 22, so they made it a 5 bullet to kill within that damage range instead of a 4 bullet to kill, and from 30 to 40 meters, they've reduced its damage further from 22 to 18 damage. So between 30 and 40 meters, it will be a 6 bullet to kill. Again, I don't really think these nerfs are necessary, considering the other weapons in the game, but whatever. Moving on to a blanket change to shotguns. Fixed an issue where shotguns were dealing damage up to 300 meters. They no longer deal any damage above 200 meters. For those fired upon from distances with a shotgun, it means less instances of falsely giving you feedback that you might be in danger. For shotgun wielders, it should no longer mistakenly give you the indication that you could effectively eliminate your target from such distances. That is certainly a very specific change, and I don't really need to know why that was necessary, but whatever. In a very, very interesting change that I actually hope it does what it says, they reduced the peripheral blur or depth of field around weapon scopes when zoomed in to aid with general visibility. Some of the scopes in this game are, in my opinion, completely unusable because of this, and I genuinely hope that they restore scopes to their normal visibility that they should have. And in another change to scopes, a number of scopes have been updated to ensure a larger playable area is visible when aiming down sights. So just some general sight changes here that are definitely welcome. Moving on to the vehicle changes section, the Superhind and Condor's 50mm cannon has seen yet another massive nerf. They actually cite that this is to make the transport helicopters more of a means of intended transport. So I actually agree with this change. They have reduced the ammo count from 12 to 8, blast radius reduced from 5 meters to 3.5 meters, and the replenish time has been increased from 3.5 seconds to a 6 seconds. So the 50mm cannon on the Condor and Superhind is in fact dead. Moving on to the EVGA Wildcat changes, which they have essentially just buffed the shit out of their AA capabilities. Some of these changes, in my opinion, are completely unnecessary and actually might make this vehicle completely broken considering the strength of the 60mm volley pod that is already on it. First of all, they increased the anti-aircraft lock-on missiles damage from 130 to 210. This means that it will now guaranteed 2-kill hit against the Nightbird and jets, and it will leave attack helicopters at critical HP. They have also increased the AA missile's lock-on range from 400 meters, which is already pretty long, to a whopping 600 meters. So those helicopters that got away before and were out of lock-on range will likely not be able to escape lock-on range anymore. On top of that, the dual 30mm AA cannon's minimum damage has been entirely removed, and it will now deal the same damage at all ranges. On top of that, they actually made the AA cannons do slightly more damage against jets and all forms of helicopters. So, in my opinion, the Wildcat is going to be absolutely nuts. I'm definitely going to try to make a video to see if I'm correct or not. Real quick before we get into the stealth helicopter nerfs, if you made it this far into the video, be sure to check if you're subscribed. I really do appreciate you guys watching the video for this long. Hit the like button, really does help the channel out. Thank you guys so much for hitting 28,000 subs. Anyway, they have nerfed the 30mm cannon on the stealth helicopters. They have drastically increased the rate at which the 30mm cannon pods overheat, which is definitely a needed nerf, but they have not nerfed any of the splash damage or anything else, so we'll see if it's still pretty effective. Moving on to the UI/HUD section, some really interesting changes in here, and additions actually. They added support for something they call aim-based icons opacity. This new feature allows the opacity of icons to be adjusted based on how close or how far they are away from the center of your screen. Icons at the center of the screen will be more transparent, whereas icons at the edge of the screen will be more opaque. This feature aims to prevent icons from blocking the visibility of enemy targets that you are aiming at. It is active at all times with greater effect when zoomed, very low opacity when the icon is in the center. Enemy players' icons are not affected by this feature. They have also added options to customize the area of the screen where the opacity is affected, as well as the transparency in the periphery of the area or the center of the screen when zoomed and not zoomed. This option can be found, of course, in the display/HUD icon section. They have also added another UI element called horizontal HUD padding, which apparently allows adjusting how far off left and right the side of the screen HUD is positioned. When set to 0, elements such as the minimap and the inventory will be positioned to the edges of the screen. When set to 100, those elements will be closer to the center of the screen. And by the center of the screen, they mean center of the screen bottom. So you can basically move the minimap from the bottom left-hand corner to, if you want, directly in the bottom middle of your screen. They have also improved the readability of grenade indicators. This is fantastic, as sometimes you just died to a grenade that had absolutely no indicator, and it felt pretty stupid. So, glad to see that change. In the Battlefield Portal section, there is one funny change. Apparently, AI will now be able to fly planes. So, yeah. In the Gadgets section, the repair tool is now basically no longer able to repair indefinitely. So, you could say that they repaired that bug indefinitely, guys. Oh boy, Soldier! In the Soldier section, there really isn't much, aside from some melee takedown animation fixes, some jumping and sliding interactions that were smoothed out, and you can now prone while walking backwards. And last but not least, the Specialist section. There genuinely isn't much to go over here except for the fact that Pyke actually got buffed, which is very controversial. They have increased Pyke's scanning duration from half a second to 0.85 seconds, and when Pyke uses the scanner, she is no longer spotted on the minimap. In my opinion, this is completely unneeded, and I don't really understand why they're buffing a character that has a wall hack ability. Wall hacks are already pretty strong, and I don't think you need to make it last longer, and I also don't think you need to take her off the minimap when she uses it. But whatever, that's just my opinion. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button, inching ever so closely to 30,000 subscribers. I also stream every single day, and I will be streaming the patch, of course, on patch day on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/enders. Link is in the description. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, and check out the merch, because there's going to be some new stuff soon. Links are all in the description, and I will see you guys in the next one.